Hey everyone, it's FinalRound and my name is Jordan and welcome to Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I feel like we did a pretty good job predicting the game script of Game 1 and now we're going to have to predict kind of what the adjustments are going to be. So I'm going to jump right into it and then I'll talk about the game after the picks. You'll see images that come up on the screen. Those will be from a data app called Outlier. There'll be a link in the description that'll give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. So this first pick, I'm going to go right back to it because the line didn't change and actually the odds got better for us. Is Jason Tatum over 9.5 rebounds at minus 104. He has now gone over this line in 12 out of 15 playoff games. I don't know why it stays near even money, but he's averaged 15 rebound chances over the last 10 games, and in the last video talked about his high conversion rate when it comes to these rebound chances. We normally cut the rebound chances in half, and that's normally about what a player is getting. But Jason Tatum, when he's going for a rebound, he knows he can get it, and his teammates seem to get out of the way and let him have that rebound. So in game 1, he got exactly 15 rebounds like his average, and he converted 11 of those, getting 11 total rebounds. He didn't need to play the rest of the game. He did play a decent amount of the fourth quarter, a little more than I was expecting with that blowout, but he could have played more if this game was closer. So I do like him again over rebounds, and this will continue to be a play as long as it stays at 9.5. And then this second pick, you'll see a theme. I really like a lot of Celtics. I like Jrue Holiday over 5.5 rebounds at minus 110. So if you didn't know, Jrue Holiday is one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA. Luka Doncic is considered the best rebounding guard, but he's huge, but his position is a point guard. Jrue Holiday is actually ranked third when it comes to rebounds for point guards. So over the last 5 playoff games, he's averaging 13 rebound chances. We need him to get half of these to go over this line. And he's also averaging 7.5 rebounds over those last 5 games, so 2 over this line. So not only is he a good rebounder for defensive rebounds, if you paid attention, the Celtics, they were playing with a quick pace. So like I said in the last video, they just got done playing the Pacers. They kept that pace going, and it looked like the Mavericks, they were coming from a slow paced type of style against Minnesota, and it kind of caught them off guard. I think the Celtics game plan was to go and shoot quick 3-pointers when they had the opportunity and transition, and if they missed the 3-pointer, it gave opportunities for offensive rebounds for guards. That's why guys like Gafford and Lively, they weren't getting back in time, and this resulted in Jrue Holiday getting 2 offensive rebounds out of his 8 total rebounds he had in game 1. So I expect the Celtics to keep this pace going. I don't know why they would want to slow the game down and let the Mavericks get in their defensive set. So Jrue Holiday isn't one of the guys who's normally going to be taking that quick 3 in transition. It's normally going to be Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard. All those type of guys are going to just throw it up quickly. And Jrue Holiday, he can shoot threes. I'm not saying he won't shoot a quick one, but he'll be there for the rebound and transition. So I do like him over 5.5 rebounds at minus 110. And if you guys could, please like the video, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? You could just tell me your favorite drink, and that'll help get this video out there for more people. It can be any type of drink. This third pick, a lot of people are going to be like, oh no, he said it. He said first quarter prop. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kristaps Porzingis over 3.5 first quarter points. This is at minus 142. The payout has been getting worse because these lines have been out since game 1 ended. But this just seems like a really low line for Kristaps Porzingis. So he came off the bench pretty quickly in game 1. Al Horford, I think, played around 4 minutes or 4.5, and then Kristaps Porzingis ended up getting 7.5 minutes in that first quarter, and he came out aggressive, and he normally does this. He normally starts off really hot in games, and I know he just felt fresh and he wanted to get some shots up, but I don't see him stopping this. And Al Horford started because he was doing well in the last series, and obviously Porzingis is coming off the bench, and eventually this is going to flip-flop and Porzingis is going to start the game, and then Al Horford's going to resume his role of 20 to 25 minutes a game. But I checked, and Porzingis has hit this line in 81% of games in 2000 and 23-24 season. So I like him to get 4+ points in the first quarter for Kristaps Porzingis. And I'm not going to go away from him for this fourth pick. This fourth pick is going to be Porzingis over 1.5 3-pointers made at -120. I think people are overreacting to his minutes that he played. In the first game video, I talked about how I think Al Horford's going to play more minutes earlier on in this series as Kristaps Porzingis gets more acclimated. And then Kristaps Porzingis ends up playing 20 minutes and his line, Porzingis' points line, drops by 3 points as soon as it's released, and Al Horford's line shoots up by 2 after it was already bumped up by 2 what it was before. So people flip-flopped and they're just adjusting to the moment and what they saw. But what I saw was Kristaps Porzingis play his normal minutes in the first half. It became a blowout. And then when he came in the third quarter, he played about 2 or 3 minutes and then they took him out. And I assumed that they wanted him to start the fourth quarter just in case it was going to be a closer game. But it ended up being more of a blowout. He came in that fourth quarter, played another 2 or 3 minutes. It might have been 4, but he came out quickly again. So people were saying, oh no, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be playing 20 minutes a game in this series. No, I don't think so at all. I think he's fully healthy. I think he's fully good to go. They said there's going to be no minutes restriction for him. I think they wanted to save him. They're up by 20, they're up by 30 or whatever it was at the time. Why play Kristaps Porzingis and risk a potential injury when he was the reason that got them to that 20-point lead? Because when he came in, the game was a 1-point game. When it was halftime, it was a 20 whatever it was at halftime, 20+ point game. I think his minute limit was low just because of the blowout. I see a lot of people overreacting to that and wanting to take unders, and they don't think Porzingis is going to stay that hot. And they think he's going to just get 20 minutes, but I think he's going to get around his 30 minutes if it's a close game, which was his average during the regular season. So we got 10 more minutes of Porzingis in a more competitive game. So I like him over 1.5 3-pointers made. Let's get into those stats. I just had to talk basketball for a little bit because I saw people overreacting. A lot of people taking Al Horford overs, which I think we got a discount on that in game 1, and now it's a little bit iffy with Al Horford. I wouldn't take an over or an under with him. But this season, he's averaged around 5 3-point attempts a game. I feel like he's going to be a little more aggressive when he gets those shots because he took 4 in those 20 minutes and he knocked down 2 of them in game 1. And at home, he shot 41% from 3 this season. And also at home, he made 2 or more 3-pointers in 71% of games. So I really like him at home here. But I think with the crowd, every time he gets the ball and he's open, you can just feel the intensity. Like they want Porzingis to throw up a shot. So I'm looking for him to get more than 20 minutes. Potentially starting the game if they decide to make that reversal with Horford. That could be game 3, could be game 4, or they could just really like having Porzingis off the bench to bring that spark and not change anything up, because why change something because it works so well in game 1. But just 2 3-pointers at -120, I'll take it for Kristaps Porzingis. And before I get into this last pick, I want to shout out my partners, Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, and ChalkBoard. Use promo code FinalRound11 on any of these. They'll match your first deposit. There'll be links in the description that'll take you straight there with the promo code. And thank you to anyone who uses those. So once again, I can't make a video about the finals and not take a player from the other team. And I'm going to go back to PJ Washington, over 5.5 rebounds. This was like -125 when it first came out. It's at -150 now, so it's even on prop apps like Underdog and Prizepicks. So it's at 6 even, so you have that push potential there if he gets 6. But he almost hit this line in the first half, and I really like his opportunity here to go over this line again. And he did come out earlier than he normally does because of the blowout. He's averaged 12 rebound chances over the last 10 games, and that includes a matchup. 5 of those games were against the Minnesota, who is tough for rebounds. And as I talked about in game 1, the Celtics are really, really tough against centers when it comes to rebounds because they draw them out of the paint with their three-point shooting bigs, with Al Horford, Porzingis, Jason Tatum. All of those guys will pull the centers out, and they don't get as many rebounding opportunities. It goes more towards the power forwards, and the Celtics were playing at a higher pace, which put up more shots, which gave more rebound opportunities. And so I do like PJ Washington again to get those rebounds. So as we saw, Gafford and Lively, they didn't play much because they're not a good matchup against the Celtics. And it was completely different than what we saw with Minnesota, and that's why I didn't jump on Lively props or Gafford props. And I even said in the last video that I think Lively's assist, just getting 2 assists, his assist chances are going to go down because I think the Celtics are going to play defense differently than Minnesota did. Minnesota looked lost when it came to playing defense. All those alley-oop dunks that they were giving up and stuff like that. I said that I think the best game plan for the Celtics would be to play like they used to play LeBron. I'm a Cavaliers fan. I used to watch it all the time. LeBron had shooters all around him, and they would just say, basically, LeBron, if you can't score 100 by yourself, you're not going to beat us because we're going to take away all the other guys around us. And Luka ended up with 1 assist. And I know I'm talking about the game. Like I said, I was going to do this after the picks, but I just get really excited talking about adjustments and everything like that. And talking basketball. So PJ Washington ended up with 8 rebounds in that first game, and he could have ended up with more if he stayed on the court longer. He is one of the guys for the Mavericks who plays 40+ minutes in a closer game. It's Washington, Kyrie, and Luka who will play the most minutes. So I'm sorry for giving a -150. I normally don't do that. If I made this video right after game 1, this would have been a much better play. But with it at 6 even, I do like that for something like Underdog or Prizepicks or whatever you're using. And with that -150, if you do want to add it to like a parlay or something, I think that's fine. So I do have a Discord, link is in the description. There'll be conversation going on about all sports during the day. And also, if you do well with these picks and you feel like giving back, I have a Cash App and Venmo in the description. And thank you to anyone who does donate. So to recap game 1, I did get an over/under on total points. I normally don't do that, and I took the over and it ended up going under. So I did miss that. But when it came to props that I've done all season long, we went 3-0. So we Al Horford, 11.5 points plus rebounds, -125. This was the one that people argued with me the most about in the Discord and the comments. People were just like, I don't know about Al Horford. He scares me. And I just kept saying, I feel like this line is just too low. He's going to get 20 to 25 minutes at least. And he's been able to get this done in so many games. This is up to like 16.5 now, I think, and it's just not this discount that we had. I think this was just a really good line, and people overreacting to the Porzingis returning news. So that hit pretty easily. Jason Tatum over 9.5 rebounds. He did go into the 4th. I think he needed just 1 more, and he ended up getting 2 more. I was afraid they were going to take him off the court due to the blowout pretty quickly, but they left him out there just long enough. And then PJ Washington over 5.5 rebounds. That was at -118, and yeah, he hit that pretty easily too. So to talk about game 2, we have to talk about adjustments that we think the Mavericks are going to make. Obviously, the Celtics aren't going to make any adjustments. They're going to try to keep the surrounding players out of the game and not let them get going. That's why we saw guys like Derek Jones Jr. not really score much. PJ Washington did score a little bit, but Kyrie didn't really get going. Luka had 1 assist. And I was very impressed with how Al Horford played in a one-on-one situation when it came to Luka and Kyrie. I know he had back-to-back moments where he got crossed up by Kyrie for an easy layup, and then Luka did it to him for another shot. But on most other possessions, he played very well, getting a hand in the face for Luka, and Luka would miss the 3-point shot that he would try to do against Rudy Gobert. And then even with Kyrie off the dribble, Kyrie tried to take a couple layups with Al Horford on him, and Al Horford did enough to cause Kyrie to miss a couple of layups. So I was really impressed with his lateral quickness for Al Horford. You would think it would be a more difficult matchup with someone like Rudy Gobert. And then I'm just thinking, like, you know, maybe they need to rethink this Defensive Player of the Year award. It can't just be blocks and stuff like that down low. How about their perimeter defense? Because he got exposed in that last series as the worst perimeter defender on the floor, and they just took advantage of him there. So if I'm the Mavericks, I got to get my guys going. You can't just have Luka try to go off the dribble the entire time. You could potentially have someone else bring the ball up the floor, like Kyrie, give Luka the ball in the post until they force a double team and, you know, he can find the open guy or something like that. Mavericks also need to play faster and not let the Celtics get in their set defense. I know I say that and it sounds easy, but we saw a lot of transition blocks by the Celtics that were very clean by Porzingis, you know, Jaylen Brown and all that. But the best thing they could do is to get out and running, and the shooters need to get out and get to the three-point line and get found for an open three-point shot. How does that affect our props? We don't know what to do with it because Lively and Gafford, in that scenario, you almost have to take them off the court and play PJ Washington as your center and play small. So we could potentially see some small ball lineups where the Mavericks decide to play fast and get those easy buckets and not let the Celtics get set up with their half-court defense. And if you're first time watching this video, yes, I like to talk basketball. I'm not just looking at the numbers and all that, especially when it comes to the finals or some playoff games, and I'm watching intensely, seeing, you know, how the teams adjust and stuff like that, and trying to predict the game flow. And I think I got it down with game one, and everything, you know, ended up how I felt like it was going to be with Al Horford's minutes and all that. And so that's why I'm not too confident in many Mavericks lines. I'm not sure if they're going to try to get Lively or Gafford more involved to try to get Porzingis or Tatum in foul trouble or something like that. The Celtics are doing a really good job taking that away, just playing man-to-man defense. This is much longer than my usual videos. I know a lot of people like to hear the basketball talk. But I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's the final round. My name is Jordan, and it really is the final round. Someone pointed that out. God bless you. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.